Real podcast build bridges. Am I right? Oh my goodness.
Oh, dear.
All right, we're back here. Not a Christmas special, but kind of a Christmas special.
It's a Christmas feeling movie. The first one came out in Christmas time.
Yeah.
So here we are again.
So we're doing Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Is it and the Lost Kingdom, or
Yeah.
is it just Aquaman the Lost Kingdom?
You know I'm really bad at these.
Yeah.
I think it's and the Lost Kingdom.
I kind of like that.
All right.
In the Lost Kingdom, go a little Doctor Strange.
Coming in hot here. Directed by James Wan.
James Wan,
Starring Jason Momoa,
Patrick Wilson,
Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
what's her face? Amber Heard.
Yeah, she's fucking at the bottom of the IMDb list.
Yeah. I think she's going to have a glorified cameo and they'll try and like distort her face with CGI.
With like a starfish.
Yeah. Is Nicole Kidman back?
Nicole Kidman is back.
Okay.
Dolph Lundgren is back.
Oh my God. That's right.
Randall Park.
Okay.
And Martin Short.
Martin Short.
Yeah. No Willem Dafoe. I think he died last movie.
Couldn't tell you.
Quick trivia here. How much
Yep.
money did Aquaman 1 make?
Over a billy.
Over a billy.
Like 1.1 bill or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that.
Yeah, it did amazing. And I remember it like surpassed all of Warner Brothers. Like it was tracking for like
because
decent.
it went Wonder Woman
Yeah.
and then
Something about this one just hit.
Yeah.
Like, because Wonder Woman cracked a billy as well, didn't it?
I can't remember. I know Wonder Woman did extremely well, and everyone's like, this is it. DC.
And this is when Momoa was just like at his height of popularity and people were just on board for it.
Yeah, this movie was.
Fast forward a few years later.
Yeah, so before we get to that,
I want to start talking shit about this movie.
Yeah, let me just think.
Okay.
Should we do fast questions? Let's just get them out of the way because I want to talk shit about this movie.
Okay.
Fast question number 1: Aquaman death.
No.
Oh, I think it's pretty much guaranteed. Fast question number 2: post-credit cliffhanger or tie-up?
Oh, that's a great point. Do they know it's the last one? No, I'm going to go post-credit scene never gets addressed. Big setup.
Fucking Henry Cavill as Superman.
We need you.
Oh my god. It's Loba.
Yeah.
And last one,
Lobo.
Amber Heard. Oh, Lobo. Amber Heard screen time. How much?
14 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. You're leaving already? You gotta.
Yeah,
See
it's
you,
like
sweetheart.
I got. What is it?
See my trident? No, I wouldn't even know where a trident like that is.
What do they call land? I got business on land.
Okay.
And she just leaves.
Yeah. Okay. Business
on
or a little
land.
note on the fridge,
Yeah.
on his aqua fridge. above, got to deal with some shit.
Dear Arthur.
Yeah, that's it. Arthur
Curry.
Curry. Yeah.
Okay, so this movie
Arthur, we need you.
is. I'm just like.
This movie's an absolute train wreck, but it hasn't even, and it's out today.
I know. It's like. I've for some reason like I've been to movies, I've seen movies come out that I know are gonna suck.
Yeah.
But so for some reason none of them seem as bad as this movie's gonna be.
It's just set up for utter failure. Like it's
crazy.
It's incredible that we've managed to get to this moment. This is the end of the DCEU.
This is the end. Yeah.
The final movie.
It's literally like this thing is being kicked out to the curb.
And it still feels like it never actually got started.
Yeah.
Like it's had like 20 films that have just not progressed the story any.
It's insane. And
Yeah.
like.
So yeah, how did we get here? So obviously the DCEU were trying as hard as they possibly could to catch up to Marvel.
Yeah.
They came out with a lukewarm success with Man of Steel.
Yeah.
In terms of reviews, I think it did okay.
People didn't like it, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was a good enough.
They had a decent vision.
I think
maybe.
it wasn't fun. I think that was kind of the problem. It's like
Yeah.
as close to black and white as you can get in a movie without it being black and white.
Yeah. And then they had
Batman vs Superman, which they didn't test screen
I
at
know.
all.
Yeah, I
they were
remember
so
that. That was a
confident.
classic. Like,
Yeah.
oh, why isn't the embargo lifted?
But it was because apparently they thought it was like this masterpiece that was just gonna take the world by storm.
Yeah, that movie jerks itself off.
When that was happening, I actually heard about this. I caught up on this recently. While all that was happening, Suicide Squad was in production, and it was
forgot
this
about
dark.
Suicide Squad.
Remember the first trailer?
Yeah, they recut with all the music after Guardians.
I started it, and it was
God.
like dark and gritty. And then they were like, "Oh fuck, Batman vs Superman is dark and gritty. Everyone hates it.
Yeah,
Let's do some reshoots. Let's make it a comedy." And then that just was like a Mod Podge disaster. And what was after that? I think Wonder Woman.
yeah. I think Wonder Woman was good.
a success.
The first Wonder
Yeah.
Woman was good. Everyone liked, and then everyone's like, okay, like here we go.
Or did Justice League come out first?
Oh shit, it did. Justice League
It's a total
sub
mess.
sub 2 hours. Joss Whedon.
Yeah, Justice League was that was almost as bad as Fantastic Four. Not quite as bad, but it was up there.
It was just like they had to rush to do something against the Avengers, but they didn't build the
You know
movies
what?
before it.
I think Wonder Woman was first. I think it went Wonder Woman, then Justice League, then Aquaman. I know Aquaman came out after.
It's crazy though, but you could sit here and rattle off
Yeah.
the order of the MCU movies
Birds of Prey.
without even hesitation. So it just goes to say how much of a fucking mess the DCEU has been.
Black Adam, The Flash, Suicide Squad
Wonder
2,
Woman 84,
Wonder Woman 1984, Blue Beetle, Shazam, Fury
2,
of the Gods,
which I have seen.
Yeah, I've seen it as well.
Oh no,
It's hideous, man.
yeah, it's bad.
Anyway, we're getting more over the place than DCEU here.
Yeah.
So here we are at the bitter end. We're gonna go and finish off the DCEU. Okay, here's a prediction. Here's a question I have for you. Do you think this movie feels and plays out at all like the conclusion of a universe, or do you think it's still just going to feel like another chapter in a larger universe that's never going to be completed? Like, have they learned from their lesson somewhat, or no?
So I think that it is going to tie a nice bow, but it's going to be not even nice. It's going to be extremely clunky.
Yeah, like a reshoot bow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a final, like, here's the story, and then the final 10 minutes is something about how he's going off and the world is safe.
The world's at peace. And
yeah.
do you think we'll get any references to like some of these other characters, like your Black Adams, your Blue Beetles?
I think the one thing the DCU always does is they always make, I have here, reference to why Justice League characters are not available.
Yeah.
What about Wonder Woman? She's not here.
It's always Batman as well. Yeah. Batman?
Where's Batman?
On a mission.
Busy at Gotham.
Superman? He's in space.
What about Blue Beetle? Try talking to his uncle or some shit like that.
Left 3 messages.
Fuck. So stupid. Yeah, so more about this movie. What else is there? So there's the famous stories of the pre-screening, like the test screenings.
Yes.
Just being abysmal.
Unwatchable was the words.
Yeah.
And I have permission. I just got a text come in from our insider
Okay, here we go.
who worked on Aquaman 2. He basically has dished quite a bit and kind of corroborated a lot of what people were saying, that the movie was a total mess.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people involved in the production weren't really interested in being a part of it anymore because they knew it was a sinking ship. You can connect the dots as to who that is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of contractual obligations.
Yeah.
Rumors of James Wan being locked out of the edit room, then being let back in.
Yeah, and he was also like, there was like bullying of Amber Heard on set.
Yeah, bullying
too.
Amber Heard. And then he kind of came out recently and was like, no, this is my movie. There is no Wan cut. Like, this is what I wanted to make. We're so excited to put this out there. No premiere. Did you hear about this? Yeah. They're just like one little gala, and Jason Momoa and James Wan were just there. Like,
what the fuck?
It was basically a screening, like a glorified screening.
Have you seen the RT?
I have.
I caught a glimpse on it.
34 is what I saw.
I saw it at 38. Oh my goodness.
Runtime, I have no idea.
Do you want to know?
No. Yes.
204.
Okay.
That's
good.
Standard runtime.
I'm happy with that. Like, what do you think this movie can do to succeed? Like,
perfect.
Yeah.
I
What do you?
That written down.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I said the only saving grace this movie can have is the banter between Patrick Wilson and Jason Momoa.
Which, I mean, the trailer
makes it look so bad.
Yeah, but did you see the new trailer?
No, I haven't seen anything.
So
yet.
yeah, I saw one like more of a TV spot, and they've started to recut and make it just seem like an all-out action spectacle. Like that's kind of what they're marketing it as now.
That's good.
Like, and it looked better. Like they had a bit of time to maybe polish some of the effects.
That's good. That's good.
And I've heard some people say that it's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's one of those movies where it's like all the critics just want to gang up on it, and it's actually not as bad as people say.
It was saved. Apparently, it was saved in the reshoots.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I heard. So yeah, a lot of reshoots and a lot of a very elongated post-production process where they basically like recut half the movie and just try and make it a bit more feasible and more simple. I heard it was like very complicated at first.
Fuck. So I have written down the first movie was silly, cliche, paper-thin plot, but visually stunning, immersive, and it was so much fun.
It was fun.
I just remember seeing like the action sequences, like with the one with like Nicole Kidman, it's like top down, she's jumping around with the trident, like it's dumb, but it's so cool. And
people
to
getting
watch.
smashed through walls.
Yes.
Like I liked that there was a lot of practical stunt work in the movie.
The scene where him and Amber Heard are running from Black Manta, and it's like jumping between the two buildings in Italy.
Oh, that's right.
Like that's unique and that's fun, and I can only hope that this movie tries to reach those heights again.
Yeah. And what seems confusing to me is, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember the first movie that well. Black Manta was the main villain in the first one.
No, Patrick Wilson was.
Okay, but
Orm.
so Black Manta was like a side villain.
Yeah.
And now he's the main villain.
Yeah. He's always been the comic book villain.
Right. So it seems a bit strange to me to just like not really introduce any new threats or like new characters. Does that bother you, or are you okay with that?
I'm okay with Black Manta. I think it's like a cool looking
Because
villain.
what was the extent, like they fight him at the beginning, right? Like on the submarine.
Yeah, and then he gets the tack and makes the helmet, and then they fight him
I love
again.
how you remember this. When did you see this movie last?
In theaters.
Oh my god.
Then they fight him again in Italy. And then Jason Momoa decides to spare him.
And then, so did it do like a setup of like, oh, this guy's going to be back?
I think so. I think he's in the post-credit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I remember, what was that place in the first one? Like the hell place they go to?
Yeah, well, there's
supposed to be a spin-off. That's not happening.
What the fuck?
And there's a lot of rumors that Jason Momoa is going to be kept on in the new DCEU and be playing a new character, Lobo,
because he had that Instagram. He releases like, just met with James Gunn. I'm excited. Chee-hoo!
Yeah.
He does that. It's so annoying.
I hate that. I think if they're going to...
I don't even know who Lobo is.
Nobody knows. I think he's like an angrier, grittier like version of Aquaman's kind of persona. I think that's really dumb. I think if you're going to cut ties. Cut ties.
There was a rumor that Gal Gadot was saying on his Wonder Woman.
Oh my god, then it's not a reboot then.
I know.
It's crazy to me, man.
James Gunn has his hands full.
Superman Legacy I just can't imagine being at the helm of that.
Yeah, and there's already so much superhero fatigue. It's just that, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much since we did our last pod that's kind of fallout of this year.
You want to do side reviews?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Yeah, let me just pull up my letterbox.
Yeah.
All right. I have here.
I have tickets to Wonka, but I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, nice. How far? When was our last episode?
Yeah.
October?
Yeah.
So I feel like I talked about Haunted Mansion. Did I talk about Haunted Mansion?
No. How was Haunted Mansion?
Oh, I gotta keep. Oh yeah, okay. There's Saw X. Okay, so Blue Beetle, which I talked about.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Haunted Mansion was at the end of the day, it's a kids movie. Owen Wilson does his thing.
Yep.
Nothing really to write home about. I did Gran Turismo.
Oh yeah,
cool racing sequences.
How's Orlando?
Good.
Would you give him another role in Hollywood? Or
I would. I absolutely would.
Excellent.
Yeah. I did The King's Man.
Okay.
Super bad.
Yeah.
It is not a good movie.
They're still talking about coming back to finish that trilogy.
Yeah, they're doing it like a Hitler spinoff or whatever. It's weird.
Wow.
I did Valkyrie first time.
Oh, with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a bit too slow for my liking.
Fair enough.
I did A Haunting in Venice.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good. Best of the three.
Okay.
Good murder mystery.
I've only seen the first one.
I did David Fincher's The Killer.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
I've been hovered over it a couple times, but I just haven't been able to do it.
I didn't like it at the start, but it's definitely grown
just
on
thinking
me.
about
I've
it
just
every
been thinking
day.
about it. It's like, oh, it's actually pretty good. It's like an interesting movie. I got halfway through midway before turning it off.
Okay.
Dumb Money.
That seems like it was fucking amazing.
It was good. Yeah, it was a really good movie. And Napoleon, which you and I watched together.
Yeah.
Which I personally did not
You
like.
did not like it? I loved it.
But I think that deserves an episode on its own, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I did Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, yes. How was it?
It was excellent.
Nice.
I've heard some people...
Better or worse than Oppenheimer?
Ooh, no, it wasn't because of Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Oppenheimer was... The second time I saw Oppenheimer, I was like, this is one of the best fucking movies I've ever seen in my
Our
life.
producer famously says he likes Killers more than Oppenheimer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's why he's a producer, not...
That's why he doesn't get a mic.
Yeah. I did Napoleon. I did The Marvels.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that in theaters.
You said it was good.
One of the 18 people that went to the theater to see that.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I'll get massacred for saying that I liked it, but because it was one of those, because my expectations were so low, I was like, hey, it's not that bad. Mm-hmm. It's not Quantumania bad. Mm-hmm. It's not Eternals bad. It's, a very run-of-the-mill, mid-range MCU film. And I was being very critical about the trailer, like the humor. I didn't think any of the jokes would land. Mm-hmm. But like some of their banter between the three of them was actually sharper than I was expecting.
That's cool. And how's the power sharing dynamic?
The power sharing is very creative.
Yes,
some of the action scenes look really good. Miss Marvel's parents, like Kamala Khan's parents are funny, just like they were in the show.
Oh, nice.
The banter with all of a sudden Captain Marvel's in their living room. There's some good back and forth. It's not bad.
All right.
Yeah. But I'm glad that I think it spells the end of this horrible phase of the MCU. I feel like this was the one where now it's hurting their pockets. Now they're like, okay, we gotta.
Well, that combined with Mr. Major's guilty verdict.
Mr. Major's. Yeah, it's been a crazy time.
Yeah.
Superhero movies have taken a battering.
Did you finish Loki season 2?
No, I haven't even started.
No, I haven't even started either.
Yeah, I do want to watch it though.
I do, but
I've heard they were very clever with how they.
Yeah, they secretly wrapped it up.
We could, depending on the verdict, we can open this.
So stupid.
Open this envelope again.
Waiting for the verdict.
Yes. They fucking came out real quick after the verdict.
Yeah,
it was like
they dropped him instantly. Yeah,
it sucks. It sucks for everyone. He fucked himself, really.
He did. He blew it. Fumbled the bag.
Yeah, as they say. Yeah, but so where do you feel about like the future of superhero movies? What everyone's saying is Warner Brothers and Marvel are gonna slow things down. Really, just think about what they're actually gonna do. Mm-hmm. From what I've heard, MCU is prioritizing Deadpool 3 and Spider-Man 4. Those are the two.
I heard rumors about Spider-Man 4. The only MCU slate for 2024 is Deadpool 3.
Yeah, which I think is amazing.
I think that's smart.
And did DC have anything? Like, Superman's not next year, is it?
No, I think it's 2025.
Venom 3 comes out next year. That's already filming.
Nice.
Yeah. And Madam Web and Kraven the Hunter. They got a triple bill coming out next year. Oh my god,
Madam Web looks so bad.
It's the year of the Sonyverse.
It looks so bad.
It doesn't look that bad.
Dude, no, it looks...
It's like Terminator mixed with Spider-Man.
Okay.
They got to kill Richard Parker before he gives birth to Peter Parker. That's what the whole plot is. So we're finally going to meet our Sonyverse
Is it the same guy?
No, it's Timothée Chalamet.
Okay. The future of superhero movies.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think
big quality control is the play.
Yeah, I think people are more excited for tentpole movies like Dune.
Right.
I'm trying to even think of what else.
Yeah. Because because of this big lag with the strike, the strike's another element of this. Mm-hmm. There's a bit of a backlog, so I think 2025 is going to be a little on the lighter side.
2024 or 2025?
2024, sorry, in terms of like big releases.
Yep.
And then 2025, I think you'll see this big explosion. So I feel like the next year is kind of like the regather ourselves and start putting more time and care into these stories. Mm-hmm. Hopefully with the writers all having a bit of a bigger paycheck, they're a bit more down to put the effort in as well.
Yeah, I genuinely think like it's our generation, like the millennials, that are the ones who pay to go to the movies.
You think it's us?
I think it's us because I know we're aging out of superhero movies.
Yeah.
I love this theory.
You do.
But I just think the younger generation just doesn't have much of an interest in going to the theaters. Like, I'm sure they like the movies, but like even like when you go to the theater experience now and there's like kids, it's like, fuck, everyone's on their phones. It's insane.
Yeah.
And I think if the superhero movies can grow and mature with their main audience and kind of do a lot of genre blending, like I know we talk about Winter Soldiers, like espionage, but like honestly, like really lean into that. And make the superpowers and saving the world secondary.
Just make it an amazing story.
Yeah, and I think that's how you save it. Because
to my knowledge, Guardians 3 was really the only successful superhero movie this year.
Yep, I think it was the box office winner this year. No, Barbie.
I think Mario.
No, Barbie beat Mario.
Did it? Or was Mario the year before?
No, Mario was this year.
Okay, I think that was like 1.5 bill or something.
I think it's 1.6, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we saw, this year, the few movies that were triumphant were staunchly original. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, Oppenheimer did incredible, but that was in large part thanks to Barbie.
Yeah. Oppenheimer, Barbie.
Guardians, Mario.
Yeah.
Lightyear, for sure. Like, even the really good films, like Killers of the Flower Moon, didn't do well. I think, though, because those movies are paid for by streamers, they're going to get their investment back in the long term with people like, oh, I want to watch Killers of the Flower Moon, get Apple TV for a couple months.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you'll see a lot of that. So it's not as reliant on box office. Same goes for Napoleon.
Everyone's waiting for the Ridley cut, the 4-hour Ridley cut.
Yeah, that's going to be on HBO, right? I think. Or,
Apple.
Was it Apple?
Apple.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. Next year should be interesting. I have very high hopes for Deadpool 3. That's going to be like a big event movie.
Yeah.
Deadpool sucked up by the TVA. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
They got so many cameos planned.
Yeah. James Marsden apparently spotted on set.
Oh, let's go. Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
No.
I actually fell for the Predator thing.
No, that was a joke.
And Mickey Mouse. That was the other one. They had him on set.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
That is fucking funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so just let's bring it back to Aquaman here.
Oh, joy.
You talked about your experience with the Marvels.
Yes.
And I think
This is going to be similar.
My experience with the Aquaman, like I have
the Aquaman.
I have bottom of the barrel expectations. Like I could give two shits about this movie. I was actually like, for some reason, I'm like nervous to watch it because I just think it's going to be so bad.
Because you feel bad for the people involved. It's like, it's going to be uncomfortable, I think. Because we have someone, you bought these tickets, what, like 4 days ago? Something like that.
I bought them like a week or so ago.
Yeah, so we have another friend coming with us who just got his ticket like, right before this. And he's like, dude, are you sure this is the right showing?
Yeah, dude.
There's like 4 seats taken.
It was,
every
every showing was empty.
I've seen projections of they're thinking it could be a $30 million opening weekend.
Oh my god.
8% paid for by Momoa.
Yeah. So, could I tell the Momoa story? After the screening, he's doing like a shrug, like, yeah, I know it's kind of shit, guys. What are you gonna do?
It's worrying. It's very worrying just how bad this could be.
There's been so much news about that this is the end of the DCEU that people just don't care.
Yeah, and why should they?
Exactly. Why should I go and watch
DC have marketed, they've played this
There's been
horribly.
no overarching story.
No. And like we've known it's over for like a year and a half and they're still coming out with these movies like maybe come see it anyway?
Yeah.
Shazam 2?
Blue Beetle, please?
We already spent too much money? Couldn't cancel it? What do you think? We might have a Batman cameo.
Yeah, you think we get one last Bat Affleck?
No. Oh, The Flash was another one. We knew it was over before The Flash even came out.
Yeah, and that was also like, fuck. Yeah.
I thought The Flash was really good.
Flash was fun.
Maybe not really good, but it was better than...
If we can get a Flash level experience with this movie, I'd be happy.
Yeah, for sure. Because you hated Blue Beetle, right? That was a bad one.
Yeah, it was.
Shazam 2 was almost unwatchable.
Shazam 2 was worse than Blue Beetle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. I mean, yeah, all we've done is pretty much trash this movie. We haven't really predicted anything.
Oh yeah.
Do you think we're in for like when Paul Walker has kids in Furious 7, so they do that opening where you think he's in a car chase and he's dropping his kids off at school? I think we could be in for that with Aquaman, like as I was battling.
It's all James Wan has.
Yeah. Battling to save the kingdom.
Fuck.
And then it like zooms out. He did do Furious 7 though.
Did he?
Yeah, James Wan did Furious 7.
Okay.
Well, yeah, good catch. And then it's like him like telling his story to his like kid in the manger.
Yeah. So
with his like silly big face. Fuck. You want to touch Daddy's trident?
He does get pretty goofy.
Yeah.
But you gotta give it to Momoa. He's not afraid to get goofy.
For sure.
I do have an opening scene.
Okay.
I think Mira, Amber Heard, and Aquaman will go on some silly land adventure, and then after that reveals that she's pregnant. And then she dies in childbirth. We get a funeral scene. And while Arthur Curry is drinking and doing his self-monologue thing, he looks over at the kid, and the kid does something like magical on land. Like he moves a rock or something. He goes like, huh. Okay.
Aquaman.
Yeah, that's better than James Wan wrote, all right?
I'm going for bait and switch comedic kid.
You love the fake out.
I don't love it. It's just all I could ever think of. And I feel like this is the one I'm right on.
Do you think Patrick Wilson dies?
Yeah, definitely.
You're probably sacrifice himself.
King thing as you think you are.
Hey, brother. I love Patrick Wilson. I hope
he made his directorial debut this year.
Yes, he did.
Insidious.
With Insidious.
Yeah. Did you see that one? The new one?
Is that the one? The Devil Wants Me Dead or whatever?
That's the
the Red Key or something like that.
No, the Lost Key, isn't it?
No,
that was ages ago.
I did not watch it. I did watch.
Is this one the Red Door?
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Okay,
is it good?
I haven't seen it. I really want to though. You know I'm a big Insidious fan.
I know you are. Yeah. Okay. Well,
are there any other predictions? So are you going post credit?
Yes, post credit, and I think I agree with you. I think it's gonna be a fucking like Batman cliffhanger.
Yes. Okay. I'm trying to think of any other predictions that we might come across, but
I think we're getting Ben Affleck.
That would be lovely.
Probably in the post credit, or maybe he'll be like, well, Arthur,
or it'll be George Clooney's Batman.
The land and sea are safe. That was good, Clooney.
Yeah. I think we might get like a little closing thing because they know the DCEU's over. Yeah, monologue about how like Earth felt like safer than it ever had before, and then a little post credit, just something fun, like not really foreboding.
Yeah.
What if just all the Justice League meeting up like one last time?
Yeah, and kind of like a nod to like the thank you to the fans or something.
Yeah,
like that.
fucking thank us. You fucking dragged us through the mud with this franchise. Like the amount of money I've given to the DCEU.
But yeah, I think all in all, I'm just hoping...
pay like $30 to rent fucking 1984 Wonder Woman because it was during COVID?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or $25 or something
that
ridiculous.
That was really bad.
Yeah, with your boy though.
Pedro.
Yeah. But anyway,
I think I can boil this down as I just want to have fun. I want to relax, and I want time to go by quickly.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that I'm like, oh, I want this to be over and done with. I just want to be in it, tapping my feet, gripping my seat with tension and whatnot.
Yeah, it'd be nice to laugh.
Yep.
A few a good little bang, like a couple bangers from Momoa and Wilson together.
Yep.
And then a few scenes where we sort of look over, we're like, it's not bad. Yeah.
Do the old,
Yeah. This movie's awesome. I like it when you do that.
All right.
Here we go.
We'll see you guys back here in 3,
2,
2, 1.
All right, we are back.
We are back from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Yep.
All right, just off the hop here. You want to go first or should I go first?
You go first.
Okay. It's not a good movie.
No.
And I'm just exhausted.
Yeah.
I just like...
A lot of noise.
Yeah, and it's just so much like visual clutter.
Yeah. There's not, one shot where it was like, I feel like the cinematographer was able to just like light the scene. It's just like, there's always 8 things going on every single frame.
Yeah. It felt a bit Quantumania-esque.
Yeah.
There's like a scene where they're like, when they're doing a prison escape and those things they're riding like drill through the earth.
Yeah.
You just couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
It's like,
dust and debris everywhere.
It's like, fuck.
I tried really, really hard to be positive.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I'm going to go with a 5 out of 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't think it was as bad as Quantumania, just because I had a note here. Occasionally, in every sequence, once in a while, some of James Wan's horror directing style is kind of able to make it through the noise and the nonsense. And it's solid when it works. Like there will be like a really cool creature design that screams just at the right time, or like he creates a bit of suspense. And it's like you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
Manta appearing behind his dad.
Yeah, Manta appearing behind his dad, or like when it first introduced like the Lost Kingdom like visual aesthetic, I thought it looked really cool. But it's like you can never really get going or get into it because I couldn't shake the whole just what are we doing here?
Yeah,
like
that was it. I was just like. I was like, man, am I gonna have a nap right now?
Yeah,
like,
it felt just like, I
just didn't care.
I didn't care at all, and just the plot bumbling and around from location to location makes it so hard to care.
Yeah,
it's just like
just so
we have
much...
to go here. It was like very what's the fucking Rise of the Beasts, like Transformers.
Yeah.
When they're just like, we have to go here. Why? Because there's a person who might know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like
there's so much like teleporting.
Yeah.
There's
they
even
just a pop up wherever they need to pop.
There's a scene where they're like doing extreme exposition.
Yeah.
And then there's like a cut, and they're continuing the conversation just in a completely different area.
I didn't notice that.
And I looked over you and I was like, how the fuck did they get there?
Yeah.
Like,
there's a lot of that.
You can tell this route.
There's a lot of fast travel.
Yeah.
As well.
This movie like was edited so much.
Yeah. Just
like,
clobbered and cut together.
Like when Manta is stealing the stuff.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they're at Atlantis. I had no idea. And next thing you know, Nicole Kidman's on a fucking ship chasing him.
That was her first appearance in the movie.
She's like, they won't get away. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And like there was a cool moment during that scene. I don't know if you remember where all of a sudden like the music stopped. And it was like it was like a really cool moment of like good timing and like the action was like looking pretty good. And then it just would. It was like, nonsense again. Like, it was not good.
My first note is it just like it felt so formulaic and drab, and like it felt like no one really wanted to be there.
Yeah, the 4 people in the theater didn't really want to be there either.
Oh my
like
gosh.
just nobody was laughing. Like none of the jokes landed.
Yeah.
Like I think the only thing that made you laugh was when Patrick Wilson got jacked again because the water washed over him.
So silly. But that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that was
If you
fun.
lean into that, then
They didn't do enough of that.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like so malnourished. I was like, how are they gonna like make this work? They fucking got me there. I was like, all right, you got me.
Yeah, like don't be afraid. It took itself way too seriously. And like the only person allowed to have fun apparently was Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Glug, glug, glug.
A cheeseburger and a pint of Guinness.
You haven't had a greasy cheeseburger?
And a pint of Guinness?
Grease?
He was just he was weird in this movie.
I think he's just a weird dude.
Yeah, and I think he's gotten a bit weirder in the past couple of years because he just seems
he's like a bit more famous, can be himself a bit more.
Yeah,
It's
there's
like,
this weird ironic thing where I feel like he's kind of breaking the fourth wall at times. He's like, if I'm gonna be on set, I'm just gonna fuck around.
I think that's what he does.
And you're gonna have to put it in the movie because I'm only gonna do it so many times.
Yeah, he's always doing it. It's like, yee-hoo!
Glug, glug, glug. That was the final, the ending of the movie. We just have to comment was such a slap in the face. It's like a decently written speech about Atlantis finally merging with Earth, and he's like, because I am the king of Atlantis, and I'm Aquaman. Yee-hoo! And he jumps off the screen. I was like, that's the end of the DCEU.
That's the kind of thing. It feels like Jason just did that.
Yeah,
and they're like, fuck, like it's the only cut we can keep.
Whatever.
What else? So much exposition.
Yeah, a lot of exposition.
Like Randall Park on his recorder for the audience, and then like
Randall Park was awful.
Brutal,
in this. Yeah,
dude. Just an absolute bumbling buffoon.
The amount of times it was like they'd set up a punchline, and the best they could come up with was just him going like, just saying nothing and like walking out of the.
And like he had so much responsibility in the movie.
Such a big role. I think he had more lines than anyone else.
And like to get the baby to like the sacrificing table, like he's in charge of that.
Yeah, the scientist. He has all these like henchmen.
Yeah, I know.
These monsters that are so much more equipped to like transport the.
Or you yourself can just take the baby.
Yeah,
it's all set up just to give
you the guy who's like almost betrayed me twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Grab that baby.
There was also like a heavy exposition scene when Patrick Wilson, after he grabbed the trident, and Jason was like, "Why don't you explain it to me?" And like, there's a time before there were 7 kingdoms. Like,
I don't know enough about this, Mom.
Yeah, that's what he says.
It's just ridiculous as well. Like the only reason the baby exists is to like come into play in the third act, just to have them all to have something to fight over.
Yeah,
and he just had no security for his kid at all. He's just like, there's not just us, it's the bloodline, and then Manta's just there. Like it's again like the fast travel thing. It's like you didn't think to guard the baby in Atlantis or like
from like a planning evil villain point of view. I think it's easier to just use like Arthur's blood. That's what he did. He just punched him. There's a little bit of blood. Like, you didn't have to kill the baby. You could have just fucking pinpricked the baby. But again, I don't expect
no point
an airtight. Exactly.
And going that deep into it. And going off your point about no one really wanting to be there, I just have like Nicole Kidman, Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph hated this movie.
I mean, it's something for him to do. He's not doing much.
But
it's just like the vibes were just clearly not there on set. It's just everyone's in like a studio. They're all just contracted to be there. They're all sleepwalking. Even Patrick Wilson was just sleepwalking is the best way I can describe like most of the performances in the movie. Maybe Patrick Wilson's like a little bit above.
Patrick Wilson. That was my takeaway. I was like, I liked Patrick Wilson. I liked his character. I was just doing some reading. Do you think James Wan as a director and co-writer was kind of like, he always wanted to do Aquaman, but he wanted to make Patrick Wilson Aquaman.
Yeah, so this was kind of his unofficial.
This kind of his thing. Like he's like his all the important lines. He's a way cooler.
He just looks so much more like Aquaman.
He's got the same hair as Aquaman. He's wearing like an Aquaman suit.
Momoa just doesn't. He feels like Jason Momoa, like along for the ride.
Yeah. So I think there's some confusion there under the directing. It tried to be way too many genres. We got this family thing that's kind of overarching. We got this buddy cop,
this climate change like message.
The buddy cop thing lasts for like a scene, and then there's like this serious tone with like deep monologues.
And there's horror, like the deep depths. It's creative, and there's some cool things. Like it wasn't like I was totally bored like Quantumania. Like the sets are cool, but they really feel like sets.
Yes.
Where there's like all these like barrels lined up, like you can see where like fight scenes were just planned, and there's let's throw together a fucking studio and then green screen the backdrop. Like nothing really feels that well thought out.
Yeah, it doesn't feel real at all.
No.
And I think Like the first one,
I would say like the CGI was actually pretty good. Like
for the most part, yeah.
I did like the scene where they were stealing I fucking forget what it's called already.
Oh,
in those like containers, and they were loading them up into like
those octopods.
That stuff looked cool, and I was like, okay, this is like creative. Like the way it's all working is cool. But then it would always just be like the second someone's about to get away, the trident comes in and smashes someone against a wall, and it all collapses. And then they fire a laser beam, and you get shoved across. And
that sonar thing came into play 4 times. Man, did the same thing. Yeah, exactly.
I thought he was gonna figure out how to get past it at one point, but he never did.
The whales thing was kind of cool.
Yeah, they did like a traditional call all the animals type thing.
I have here. It's not painfully bad. It's kind of like the kind of movie you can kind of laugh along at its like ridiculousness.
Yep.
Definitely wouldn't like. I'm waiting. If I'm a listener, I'm waiting for this to come out on streaming or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Most definitely. And I think the
theater experience didn't really add anything to the movie.
Honestly, I felt trapped.
Yeah,
I seldom feel trapped in a film. In this movie, I was just like,
it felt long.
Yeah,
it felt really.
Get out of here, like. I'm not having fun.
Yeah, and it's sad. It's like sad to be. I'm at the funeral service of the DCEU.
Well, this also further taints the taste for superhero movies for the general public.
It's doing a lot of that. We're already kind of
and our next one's gonna be Madame Web, and it's like
is that February?
That's February. February is where movies go to die. So it's
true.
Like,
so the next big one is Deadpool that we can actually look forward to.
Yeah. So it's like, are we at our wits' end, or is this going the way of the Western? I've said it on this pod before. Like I haven't even seen the Marvels.
Yeah.
I've seen.
But I mean, I think you're right. I think it is going the way of the Western. And you look now, every like 2 years or 3 years, we get a good Western.
Yeah.
And we like that.
Maybe like that.
I would love one superhero movie a year, so you can actually kind of like cleanse your palate a little bit, look forward to it, go see it. You're not feeling oversaturated. Like I've seen too many this year.
Yeah.
I've seen some bad ones. I've watched Shazam 2, Black Adam, and this, and the Marvels.
And Quantumania.
Quantumania, man. Oh my god. What's happened?
What other Marvel? Was there only 3 Marvel movies?
The other one I was thinking that was actually good was Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
That was this year.
That was good.
Like that's just a tribute to like that movie. Like superhero fatigue wasn't even in the conversation with that.
But that movie
it's so rich, so its own thing.
It dares to be different.
Yeah.
Whereas these movies, it's
they don't dare to be
typical
different.
3-act structure. It's like intro action
and the
scene.
bad guy monologue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill everyone.
Here we go. Loves. Bad guy. First encounter with the bad guy. He's gonna beat our hero up, and then our hero gets a bit stronger, and then our hero uses the power of family to win. And it's just like I've seen it so many times. Surely it's not testing well with audiences anymore, and I don't think it is. I think the numbers are going to speak for it.
Totally. And I think, I mean, the other one we didn't touch on was the Amber Heard thing. Like, did feel weird, like weirder than I was expecting. It's like it's really hard to just like the scenes where she pops up. It's just like you can feel it in the air.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Ooh,
yeah,
there she is."
It just feels uncomfortable. She
did okay though.
I thought she was quite bad.
That's fair. I thought like
some of her like crying for the baby and stuff was all right. When she was just like, oh, what was the really cringy line she had right near the beginning when they're like in bed taking care of the baby? Oh, she had a bad one.
Oh, she was like, fuck. Yeah, she's like the council calls or some shit like that.
Yeah. No, it was when they were just bantering around. She was like, oh, like gonna be late for supper or something like that. Oh, I can't remember.
But yeah, I agree with you. Like her in the movie was fine if you lived under a rock. But see, every time she appeared, I like what you said. Like you gotta like the air went out of the theater a little bit.
Yeah, it did. I was like, it kind of just. Yeah, you felt tension between those two as well. He's like, "Oh, my love," when he like kissed her, I was like, he's like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna get flack for this when we wrap."
Yeah, like Jason Momoa is so unhinged, dude. I think that's my biggest takeaway. I thought it was just me. I thought maybe it's just this quirky guy. No,
he was on one during this movie.
Yeah,
like there's not one personality trait that he incorporated into his performance that makes me think of Aquaman.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing. A few things where he gets like, where it's like, that's my wife. That's kind of it.
Don't touch my son.
It's the exact same shot.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a wide.
Like, I had seen this before.
Yeah. All right, now say, just in case, that's my brother. We may need this later.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
That's what the whole movie was probably like. It's just
I don't think Jason Momoa can act.
I don't. So aggressive. I'm trying to think. What do we like him in? He's been in Conan. Yeah, he had his own Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, he was in
Like
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Fast Furious, he was just weird.
Yeah, he was very unhinged in that one.
He's in that show
Justice League. C.
I've never seen it.
Neither have I.
Neither have the participants in it because they're all blind.
Yeah. Oh, I had the side character lobster dude.
Oh, the octopus?
That was hideous. I cut off my claw
yeah.
again.
As if that's some massive payoff from the first movie.
Yeah.
Bet you they were hoping that would just slay. With
No, I didn't even remember that it happened.
Yeah, I didn't either. I like the octopus, Toko.
That was kind of funny. Where he's like, what's the technical term for it?
Cephalopod.
He's like, the way Patrick Wilson delivered that line was good. The cephalopod. That was good. That's we're digging here. Totally a movie by tomorrow. I'm gonna forget half of it. I'm gonna forget all those little moments. I'll have like a few little like flashes of what the events were.
Yeah. There was one, I think the final act was decent. There was the one scene when Patrick Wilson grabs the black trident in midair, tells Mira to run, and then he turns bad. Yeah. And I was like, oh fuck, this is kind of interesting because the audience is made to love Patrick Wilson by this point in the movie.
They really love him, eh?
I fucking love him.
Yeah.
And then he turns and it's like him against Aquaman, but it's not much of a fight.
No. And then this main antagonist that we've kind of been
appears
building up to
and fucking disappears instantly.
And I think they almost had that right where it's like that could have worked if they made it really funny. He's like, I'm finally alive, and he just like gets killed, but he caught it and then he threw another trident, and I was like, hey, I don't care about this.
I think if they had
commit to one or the other,
if they had done it that Jason Momoa had to kill Patrick Wilson to protect his son and Amber Heard, and Patrick Wilson's evil, and he's like, listen to me, brother, and he's like, no, and he has to kill him, like. That's
why
interesting.
not, right?
Exactly.
Like we're never doing another one of these.
See this movie.
You still couldn't kill anyone. Like,
yeah, exactly.
There was no consequence. They all just sat around in kumbaya at the end. Yeah. Like, I think you're good to be freed from prison.
I think you're gonna be a good king. Even his dad survived.
Yeah, he didn't even kill him. I'm gonna keep you alive, so you can see him die
in case there's a third Aquaman. I think if Aquaman had to kill Patrick Wilson,
that would have been way better.
It would have, because I was really intrigued. I was like, "Oh shit! Like this is kind of interesting."
The thing I never even thought he was gonna die. I was like, he's now gonna make the right choice, and I was like, maybe he'll sacrifice himself. But
yeah, I mean,
that's a good point because like all superheroes need to go through these like hard decisions.
Yeah, man.
And this movie didn't really make our protagonist think anything that hard.
No, he
got a bloody nose.
He's so arrogant.
he's so
such
OP.
An arrogant character. And I'm Aquaman.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I got a gross feeling in my mouth right now.
Yeah, I feel kind of gross. That's a very good way of putting it. The post-credit scene, what an absolute joke. Just don't have one. Just make that part of the joke in the initial thing. We don't need to revisit that scene.
Yeah.
He's finally getting a cheeseburger and a beer, and then he decides, I'm going to put a cockroach in it because that's what my brother...
A callback.
Yeah, callback. That's the final frame of the DCEU.
You're really harping on that, hey?
I feel like it'd be nice to... You like to look back at at any kind of franchise in a retrospective manner, and there's good and bad. There were some good movies in there. I think the best one in the entire one was The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I think
that was their shining moment. And this was, right in the middle of the pack there. It's not as bad as like 1984, I would say.
No.
Not as bad as Suicide Squad 1, probably.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you on that, yeah.
Like Batman vs. Superman, where does it compare?
I think...
It's very Black Adam feel-y. It felt kind of like Black Adam.
Yes, where it's kind of like, oh, that movie came out?
It's taking... yeah, and it's taking itself a little too seriously. There's little cool moments where you're like, oh, that's kind of a cool effect. Like, that's it.
Yeah, and I think the audience is in no rush to see this.
No, this is gonna not do well.
I think Wonka is gonna beat it out. I know Wonka came out last week. Though,
yeah, and had a solid. I think it'll probably still be number one.
That'd be interesting to see.
I think it will be just because it's the Christmas time.
Yeah,
and there's lots of family. I'm going with like my entire family in 2 days. You go with a buddy to Aquaman at best.
I was kind of like shitting on Wonka this past weekend actually, just 'cause, like, it seems kind of like drab. But after watching this, it's like, give me Wonka.
Yeah.
I cannot do another movie like this.
The only ones we'll have to is Madam Web. We have to do.
No, please.
We know we can't miss that opportunity. But I think you only have to worry now about like the Sony verse. I think everything else is going to look so defeated at the thought of watching that movie.
Oh man,
we got to do that. Yeah, we got the Sonys going, and then I think that this is as average as it was, and as kind of like melancholy as I feel coming out of it. I think we can like put a stamp in this generation of superhero movies. Yeah. We had like a bit of a golden era with like your Raimi verse and your X-Men's, and then we had like a real golden age with the triumphant MCU. Yeah. And in the past like 3-ish years or 2-ish years have been...
Yeah, it was kind of like coming out of the pandemic a little bit.
As soon as the Disney Plus shows started coming out, this big oversaturation. And I think
they were pumping out like 3-4 plus
it's hit
2
fever
shows.
pitch. It hit fever pitch this year. The quality kept getting worse and the quantity kept getting more.
Yeah.
You had quantity mania.
Quantity mania. Yeah. So this ends the DCEU.
Yeah. R.I.P.
We wait for Superman Legacy.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned in the pre-show,
I'm sure they learned a lot of
yeah, no, recast everybody.
Yes. Hard reset.
I cannot see any more Jason Momoa or Gal Gadot anymore.
What about if he is Lobo?
I don't even know who that is, so I feel like I don't care.
You give him a chance if he really gives it his all.
I don't want him to be a draw anymore. For some reason, like, people just think he's a box office bang. And
he also, did you notice there was like no shirtless scenes in this movie? Because he's like pretty plump now.
Well, his whole thing.
He said he doesn't like working out.
Yeah, so he just like surfs and does his thing, which
it's fine.
I kind of respect.
Nothing
that.
Against it.
Yeah.
It's just like you do kind of sign up for that when you play this kind of character.
Yeah.
And he just had the big baggy shirts on. When it was doing the flashbacks to the original one, his face just looked so much more narrow.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not holding that against him. It's just a little observation.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna take a half ding on the opening scene.
Okay.
Because he sees his son talking to fish, and then it goes Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Yep.
So I'll take that.
I did get a bit of a ding in terms of he was fighting, and then it cut to him playing with the action figures.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, doo, 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 doo.
You had another ding somewhere. Oh, I can't remember.
That's all right.
I don't want it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be back soon.
For sure.
If everyone listening very recently, happy holidays. Mm-hmm. Merry Christmas.
Have a great new year.
And yeah, enjoy some movies over the break with your friends and family. And
definitely.
We'll kick this up again in the new year.
Take care.
Thank you.